God damn. Okay. So I just took a dumbass trade because we were in a macro time and we already took out our draw and we're heading lower on ES. So my trade idea was we were expanding lower right here and I wanted to get in on this fair value gap. So I got in there, took a stop, but yeah, we did not head lower. So right now we respected this gap. That was just very odd behavior. I think we should head lower because we did create SMT. So right here, right, we took out the first draw. My first trade idea that I had but didn't take ended up playing out. Very, very small move, but we had a nice reaction of this 4 hour, taking out both these draws, and NQ basically failed to do so. And I don't think we will take this out. That would require us to go all the way up here. So that was just really annoying. I don't know why we did that. Because on ES, we're just dumping lower. So we could take shorts. We still have Asia low available. It's within this 1 hour gap that we had a reaction out of. And let's see here. Yeah, so we're definitely in a range where we could take shorts. Because if we were to mark out our range, right, we're in premium. So I really want to be looking for shorts. I didn't really want to take this long here, even though that was the draw. Yeah, so we're in a lot of premium. If I were to mark out this range, right, we would be in premium. If I mark out this range, we're in premium. If I mark out this range, we're way above premium. If I mark out this range, we're in premium. So I'd like to see us take out this Asia low. But right now, I don't know what we're doing. That was super annoying. And on ES, we're just going lower. I don't know what we're doing right now. This is very odd. Honestly, like, I'm debating whether I should just get in right now or not. Price action's a little weird, though. I don't know. Like, this is not really any A+ setup. This is not that valid to me. Because if we look on both, right, I'm going to get rid of this. I'm just going to erase that and that. Like, bro, look at how much we're dumping on ES right now. This is insane. I should not have taken that trade. That was so dumb. Like, come on, bro. What are we doing? And now we just want to sell off. Like, so we respect this. 4 hour. I don't know. We just don't really have any like lows other than that one. Seems like we want to take it out. I'm going to look at the structure here on. Do you have a 5 second? It's a little bit too. So we had our change in the state of delivery, right? And we're just making lower highs. Except right here, this is just so sus. Like, what is going on? Right, low or high, low, high, way lower low. And then we have a lower high, but then we have this. But, you know, if you drew it out, it would be, where are we? Text? I don't want text, I want, rough. Where's the drawing tool at? No. There we go. So we basically just did this, right? And then we went like that. And then we should go lower, but we extended really far down here. So that's kind of why I'm like, what? And then ES, we're just going lower. So see if we can cross below this gap. Is there a 2 minute, 3 minute? There's a 3 minute, and if we can close below there, I think we might be able to get an entry here. Can I? God. How many seconds do we have left of the 1 minute? 18. So we had a 3 minute gap. I'm going to delete this. 3 minute gap. Yeah, we're definitely closing below that. Can we get a little bit of a... I'll do 6 micros. Maybe we can respect that. Because, yeah, on ES, bro, we just want to dump. Buddy, what are we doing? One minute, we close below the 3. Three minute, no 5 minute. Like, bro. Might stop there. Definitely later into the entry than I wanted, but what are we gonna do? Bro, do I like shoot for there, bro? What is this? RR. Okay, so we don't have that taken out yet on ES. Dude, what is going on with my neck, bro? Yes, we're just going. Bro, why is my screen not being shared right now? What are we doing? Bro. Like, what? Come on, brother. I like that wick. That's a good wick. So the first loss I took on the day was from me being in a macro time frame and we were dumping. Bro, what are we doing? Okay, there we go. Okay. What's ES doing? So, okay. Still have those lows available. Oh my God. Bro, what is going on right now, bro? I can't catch a break, bro. Please. I might have to get out of this early. I don't know. This is not great, bro. Although we are rejecting out of the gap right now. I don't know. This is not very good. I don't know, brother. I need to not. Like, bro, what are we actually doing right now? What's ES doing? Like, bro, you gotta chill. Bro, like, go down, bro. Go down, brother. Come on, let's get out of this gap, man. This is insane. I think we're going to get cooked here. I don't know. I mean, we are sitting in this gap. Oh, I just don't like how high we reached into it. I guess we do have a 2-minute. Do we have a 3? Like, I know we want to go lower. I know we do. Because right now we're reacting this way out of taking liquidity and yeah, we're fucked. We're fucked. My God. Why? I just what is this price action, bro? This is insane. So looking at the 5, right? We're much lower on ES. I mean, pull my line over. So, oh, now you want to go lower, right? Like, is that, are you for real? What's ES doing? Getting back in because I'm a fucking degen. Stop above there. Like, I know we want to go lower. That's the thing that's pissing me off. Because we're really rejecting out of this level. As you can see, we're wicking it. Problem is, right, so we take out liquidity there, and we want to go lower. We've been displacing lower. I mean, we displaced hard there. We've been creating lower highs. Should have my stop above the high instead of the gap. Bro, we're just in such a strange range right now, bro. Strange range. The fuck are we doing? I know you want Asia low. Like, I know you want Asia low, bro. This is absurd, bro. I don't know why this is so. Bro, what is actually happening, bro? I'm gonna crash out. I'm gonna crash out, bro. But what are we doing, bro? Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. So this is what we're doing, bro. I mean, it's possible that we want to be bullish here, but Asia low sitting right below us like that is just kind of crazy, bro. I'm getting absolutely bent over and just fucked right now. I mean, we could take that high, but honestly, I don't feel like we would do that. I can't believe what just happened to me, bro. That was so crazy. We could grab that high. This is just very weird, bro. There's no way we grab this high because we are so far away. Wrong tool. Right. Well, 60 points. It's not unreasonable, but I just don't get it, bro. Because on ES, bro, we want to grab those. We want to grab those lows, man. I know we do. So 650, right? We start dumping 710. We grab the low. And this is weird shit, bro. I might have to be. Bro, there's just nothing higher. I'm so confused. I mean, really, I mean, on ES, we're. I might just stop for the day because honestly, I went in today thinking there was going to be not that much, and I kind of just wanted to take a trade, if we're being honest. Like, nothing here was A plus, but I don't understand why we're seeking higher. I really don't, because there's no draws, bro. Like, all of our draws are gone. So this is very weird to me. I really should not have taken any trades. This is bad. This is bad, bro. Like, there's really nothing here. I mean, I wanted to be in longs really early on, but then I would have been inside of this. What is that high? Is that the... Bro, we might take that out, honestly. It might be possible. Honestly, I think we'll take that out, bro. Like, I might have to take a long here, bro. Because in this range, we basically rebalanced down to here, and now we're just going higher. And ES is... I don't know. This is just a weird place to be in right now. This is very weird. I don't know how to feel about this. It's possible we can take that high. It's very possible to take out that high. Wow. See, if we get like a reaction out of here, I would not necessarily want to be in longs. Dude, I think we're going to take that high. Like, actually, I think we're going to take that. Bro, what did I just delete? Go back. Jesus. We're getting decent reaction to the upside on ES, but I'm just not sure about it. Oh. So this is the part that gets me a little worried, is like right here, this tells me we want to go lower on the S&P, but if we can take out this high here, then therefore we won't have SMT. But if we reject lower on ES on this gap and we head lower, then I would want to be in shorts. But at the same time, it's counterintuitive of one another. So that's why it's just... Oh, this is just weird, bro. You know, we might actually be able to take a long. This is looking like we don't want to head lower. Let's check the 5 minute. So right here we have a 5 minute gap. first presented. Then we have our gap here. So I'd like to see us go low. Buddy, do we have news? What's going on? Brother. Refresh, refresh, refresh. 1010 FOMC. That's not, no, it's, what the fuck was that, bro? Told you guys I wanted to be in fucking shorts. Oh my god, bro. What the actual hell, bro? I wish I was in that, bro. What? Brother. What did I just watch? What the hell was that? Bro, that was actually insane. I'm not even sure what that was. What the fuck was that? Was that from news, bro? Dude, I don't know what that was. That was really weird. That was really weird. Okay, that was crazy candle. Not gonna lie, that was out of the blue. Okay, well, some type of bank just put some money in the market. That was wild. We just went straight down. Like literally right as I'm debating taking shorts, we had that, which you could say that's a good thing that we weren't in that, or a good thing we, just weren't in that. I don't know. That was weird. Do we want to flip this gap and go long? Like, what do we want to do? Because now we're in a 1 minute gap here. But honestly, that's just noise, bro. That's just noise. I mean, if we're looking at the hourly, I guess we just don't have Asia low here. And we still have this available. I don't know. This could be longs. Depends what we do. I don't know, bro. So we have a BPR gap here, which I'd like to see us react out of. BPR meaning balanced price range. So we have this inverse gap, and then we also have this 1 minute fair value gap right here. And it looks like we might want to react out of it. Same deal here, BPR. Right, we got a 1 minute gap right here, very small. But we have the inverse. I don't really think it's going to play out. No, it's not. It doesn't really care. We are respecting the gap, and I don't know, bro. Like, I just don't like. I want to take shorts because we are in premium on all aspects. But the problem for me right now is the fact that we made a high, a low, a high, a low. We've been able to make higher highs, but not. Bro, we're just ranging basically. Like, we made a higher high, but we also made a lower low. So this could be I don't know. Like I said, we already took out Asia, and then we took out London way before market opened, and then we took out Asia high, and then I don't think there was anything else we took out on NQ. I don't think. No. Basically just ranging, but I don't know. ES is a little bit cleaner. 1 minute gap, we respected, dumped out of it, right? Respected this gap. Now we have a low here and a low here as well. What is this low? I think this is just a random low. It's nothing important. All right, well, I guess we have this low. We just don't really want to do anything. We are about to be in a macro time. So either, let's see if I turn on the macros. It could start right now or it could start in 4 minutes. We do have a high, a high, a high. This could be longs, but bro, I just don't. I don't really like longs here, bro. I don't really like longs. This is just buns, bro. Guess we don't. This is the news we had today. Which it all came out. So we don't really have any news left. I don't know, bro. I think we want to take this out. Pretty sure we'll end up taking that high out. And then we won't really have an SMT anymore. Oh, dude, it's just so. This price action's so weird. Oh my god. Oh, brother. I might have to jump in along here. It's just hard because we're in premium. We are ranging though. Oh, this is just weird, bro. I don't know. Sorry, why does that look so far away? All right, well, that's accurate. So macro is about to start. Fuck it, boy. I'm in. I don't even care, bro. We're just gonna let it play. Really, this trade's just because macro started and we're near a draw, and then also on ES. On ES, we have a clear reason to go higher. We have this high, and then we have this high. So in order for us to grab this, right, ES needs to also move up and snag this liquidity. Although we did just grab that, so a little iffy on that, but we will see. How many points? So 31 points. Guys, this is the type of shit that happens to me right here. Hopefully we can just keep going higher and snag all that stuff. I wonder if it shares my screen while I'm away and I have it still sharing. $5 minute. Where's my macros? Okay. I know that liquidity pool wants to get taken. It's not that far away, considering how much we've been able to push. Why is my indicator not 10, 10:50 to 11:10? Okay, I guess not. There we go. There it is, even though it's not going to do anything. Come on, ES. I know you want to take that shit. $7.50 right at the start. I hate that I have to keep pressing this tab. Like, it's actually really annoying. Like, bro, I gotta keep clicking that. Are you for real? So we haven't taken the liquidity on ES yet, which is interesting. Get a little bit of push right there, please. Come on, I know you want this liquidity. And I know you want this liquidity too. Might get cooked here. Can we just get some push in my direction for once? Like, this is so fucked up. We are rejecting nicely. Three-minute. So we did just tap into a 3-minute gap, which doesn't necessarily matter. Really, this trade is just more like a momentum idea. Like we're pushing towards a draw, and that's kind of my reasoning. Definitely not A plus or any type of, yeah, bro, it's not looking great. So we grab liquidity here. Makes sense for us to want to head lower. I'm not in disagreement with that, but with the draw being this close, I'd like to see us just go higher and take it. So we're still in the macro, meaning the time zone for a push. How much time? 2 minutes on the 15-minute. The 5, the 1. Okay. I know you want to push higher. Yes, come on. Come on, baby. Keep going. So on NQ, right, we tapped into the hourly, headed higher. Initially was going to be in this leg because we had some draws up in here. And then on ES, right, took out 2 different highs. And then we tapped back into the 4-hour gap that it had. And this is the second tap back in. So I'm not really wanting anything from ES other than to just maybe grab this high. And then for us on NQ to take out this high because this is our previous, this might be a previous week high. Let's see. 12 days, right? So that's a big draw on liquidity for us. But we might get cooked. So right now we're getting seemingly a little bit more volume. Yep, I knew it. I could just see it. Please, bro, just take my draw, bro. This is a really nice push. This is really nice. Wow. I almost took this trade off, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't know what's going on. I might have to micromanage this. What are we doing on ES? So hopefully we can keep pushing higher. The fact that we just randomly had a push like this is definitely surprising. I don't know where it came from. I'm going to move stops to this low. So now we're in for a 1 to 4 RR trade. I might actually, I don't know. I kind of want to cut it off, but we're so close to the draw. Just don't know why we would do that. It's so random. Because on ES, we have nice V shape. We slowed down. And that pairs up well with my idea to go long towards this draw. Right? I think I have to just trust it and wait and see. So if you guys couldn't see my screen, I apologize. That was weird. I don't know why I did that. I know we want to grab that high, like we had a lot of buying pressure right there. That was interesting. I keep having to fucking revert my screen, bro. Why did we have that, bro? That was so random. Keep pushing, baby. Grab that draw. Grab that shit, boy. Yep. 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 Get that volume. Yep. Mm-hmm. That's right. Keep pushing. Pushing Peter more completer. It's a very bullish day, man. Very bullish. Don't you do it, motherfucker. Uh-oh. Don't dump on me. Pause. Come on, baby. Take the draw. I know you want it. I know you want it. See, like I'm talking to the fucking screen like as if, you know, like when you're in a trade, you got to realize that the market has no idea if you're in a trade. There's, you get all emotional about something. And it's like, damn, you're really, there's people in all kinds of orders and trades all along here. It's like, bro, that shit does not know you're in a trade. Like, and you're losing your mind over something. It doesn't make sense. I just need that last little push. That's all I want. I hope we don't tap into this fair value gap. I don't really think we need to. So like fair value gap, fair value gaps only really matter when they're in, let's say if you're looking for shorts, right? You want to be looking at the gaps that are in premium. So vice versa. If I'm looking to go long, I'm going to look at the gaps that are in discount. So when you're looking at all these gaps and you're like, oh my God, like which ones matter? That's what matters. Because there's so many gaps you can look at and be freaking out about, and it really doesn't matter. I don't want to tap into this gap, but we might. I don't want to, but we might. I'm like contemplating taking off the trade, but at the same time, like we're so close to this key level that it's like I can't take it off. I can't. There's just no way. Now, if we push a little bit higher, I'll move stops to right here. But currently, I'm just not interested in moving anything. I've already minimized my risk on the trade. So we haven't taken this high, which is a good thing on ES. So I got reason to go higher here, and I got clear reason to go higher here. I just don't want to go back into this. So this is, ooh, I can't even, I've been talking about what I'm trying to show you and it's not even showing. That's so messed up. Why are we stalling? Like, just grab the fucking liquidity, bro. It's not, it shouldn't be that hard. Like, just grab the liquidity, bro. I know you wanna, if you wanna move down, you need to grab the liquidity first, dog. There's no liquidity to grab. Like, literally, what are you trying to snag right now? Like, you need that liquidity, bro. I know you need it. I know you need it, bro. I just really don't want to have to tap into the gap. If we could just grab liquidity and be done, that would be nice. Yes, push higher, bro. Keep going. God damn. So on ES, we got that push, that same push I'm seeing on NQ. Could just be a random wick. Doesn't really seem like anything important. Who knows? We got, so notice how at the last we got 9 seconds on the candle. Usually at the end timer of a candle, we kind of get like a push or make some type of move. Not always, but sometimes it's a little bit noticeable. 5-minute candle ends in 1 minute. So there we go. That's exactly what I wanted to see. So at the end of a 5-minute candle, right? If we end up stalling out and going flat, making a doji, that kind of worries me. But if this candle can break this high, that would be amazing. Seems like we won't really get that. We might get a bit of a rejection candle. If we can just push on the 1 minute to create a clean 5-minute, no, we're not going to get it. Come on. Let me get that last push. So looks like we will make a doji on the 5-minute. Now we open up another 5-minute and we opened up a new 1 minute. It's very likely and possible that we could leave this based on the timing of everything, the macro time just ended. So if we didn't grab the move, I might have to just close this or grab the liquidity, I mean. I'm being greedy. I can feel it. What's ES doing? I just don't know what to do, bro, because macro just ended, right? So if we didn't grab liquidity during the macro, meaning the last 10 minutes of an hour and then the next first 10 minutes of the next hour, so a period of total 20 minutes, we didn't make the full move, then it is less likely for us to do that and we might reverse. So I'm a little worried here because I've been in this trade for a lot longer than I wanted, but the draw is still there, right? So it's a little frustrating, mate. So it looks like ES wants to dump. I didn't mean to do that. Oh, maybe we get our push. No, maybe not. Can we move higher is the question. So we did tap into the gap. So that's a form of liquidity, right? I can mark that out real quick for you guys. Right, boom. Okay, we tapped into the gap. It's also a 2-minute. So right there. And now we're kind of pushing. 3-minute gap is our 5, right? So we did tap into a 5-minute gap. So that is a good sign. Whoa, 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 whoa. A lot of buying pressure right there. Also, a lot of selling because when we spike up and then drop back down, that means we had buying power selling really quick. So if we can just push and grab, the draw, I'd be really happy with that. So we did tap into, notice how right after we tap into the gap, we had a reaction. Flip around to my charting. What's the 5-minute? So a minute and a half on the 5-minute left. How much on the 1? 20 seconds left on the 1. ES is stalling out and dumping a little bit. I wish I had a timer on, the screen. I don't know why Top Step doesn't show that or have that feature. All right, I'm going to move my stop to this low because it should be protected. Because there's no gaps, right? And we've already tapped into that gap. So we swept liquidity here. And then list liquidity still exists. Now we have also liquidity here too. So you could maybe say, we have liquidity here and here. Now the thing that you got to note about these liquidity pools is they're not as significant as, let's say, like Asia low, Asia high, London low. Those are overnight places where orders are still resting. So um, those are your key levels. These, maybe you could say, are, I mean, these are 1 minute levels, right? So if I even go on the five, this is not necessarily that strong. So you really want to be trading towards draws. Like the only time I'm really going to trade towards draws on liquidity that are made by like 1 minute and 5 minute time frames is if, let's say, low resistance liquidity. Let's say we have a bunch of just stacked 1 minute and 5 minute lows and highs. That would be when I could have that as a target. But you shouldn't really get concerned with looking at noise and highs and lows during noise. Ooh, that's oh. So it looks like we're kind of like selling off right here. I don't really want to see that. Hopefully we can bounce back. Keep pushing, baby. Come on. We're right next to that major draw. I know you want it. I know you want that fucking that high from 2 weeks ago. I know you want it, bro. I know you want it. So my stop is right here. And then my, basically if I were to put this on the screen, my trade's something like this. Something like that. But I've moved stops, so my stop's now right here. I just don't want to cut this off early because we're so close, bro. Like, we're so close. Come on, buyers, bro, buy that shit up. It's hard because sellers want to step in because we're in so much premium right now. Like, when everything lines up, like we're in discount, let's say, and then we got draws higher and just everything lines up like A plus, like, bro. But this right here, this is hard because we have a lot of contradicting factors at play. All right, I cut it off because we almost just fucking smacked my goddamn fucking stop loss. And we're just stalling out, bro. Like, it's taking way too long. So if my boom right there. Ugh. Bro, this account is fucking doggy butt, bro. I don't know what I was doing here. I went kind of stupid. This right here, this day, I genuinely had so many winning trades that I just tried to let run and they ended up turning against me and breaking even. I had like 2 break evens. This is sad. Today, not so bad. I recovered a little bit of the loss, but this right here is just an example of trade management. I can just tell we're about to take out my previous stop loss. So boom, look at that. We would have been stopped out. So that's why I cut the trade off early. Like after we start doing something like this, like at this point here, I want to be in the trade. So if I drag it over, like anything in the green, right? I'm like, awesome, right? As soon as we start doing this, I'm like, I'm sussed. This white candle here, and we tap back into the fair value gap, I'm like, okay. We get all the way up to this point, I'm happy. As soon as we start doing this, right? I'm like, whoa. Now, yeah, bro, you just would not. This is just horrendous, bro. So that's why I got out early. So I'm gonna just delete all this crap. 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute. Like it's possible you could hop back in this, which I might do. I don't know. 5 minute? Nope. 15, 30. Bro, this is just interesting price. So there is a 3 minute gap on ES, right? That I don't know, this could be a noise reaction. No, so did we? No, we did not tap into that gap. Nope. And so we have some structure here that we could use to support us, right? So we have a new high. So we have two highs. Like I said, not as important as this one, obviously, because this one is New York. 25 seconds, 22 seconds, we end up closing below, then I'm not going to want to trade higher. Bro, and I'm not even bro, why does it do that, bro? I have to manually press the button every time. So if we can, so right there, notice how the last couple seconds we candle closed below, right? So we were fighting at this level and then we ended up closing. So that tells me we want to disrespect this imbalance. Now, let's see here. We don't have any gaps to trade into. So maybe we will just wick that. And then if we're looking at the hourly, we have a 1 hour gap, but it's still being created. And then we have a 1 hour gap down here. This is interesting. I don't know. 3 minute. Okay, so interesting. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. I don't know if we want to go lower. I cannot tell. Dude, if we didn't make this wick right here, what time is this? 7:40. Okay. Forget I'm looking at the damn 1 minute. Sheesh, bro. We're low-key selling off. So we inversed that. Maybe if we get, do I have a brother? Path. There we go. So if we can maybe do something like this, right, then I would be in the trade. But we took out all of this liquidity with this wick. So that's frustrating. And then looking at we basically failed to make a higher high here. Wait, this is the 5 minute. Okay. So we took liquidity. Now we might be making the move towards Asia lows. It is possible. Do we have a 5 minute gap created anywhere? I might be done for the day. I don't know. I don't know. So we do have a 5 minute gap here, but the only problem is I'm gonna look at the 4 hour real quick. So would this still be, yeah, this is still considered SMT. Well, this is a mini SMT right here. Hold on, I'm just gonna delete it. So right here we had an SMT, and then right here we had SMT. So we had a high here, right, on both. So like, as you can see, my line on the right side of the screen. So this line right here is this line right here. So we had SMT right there, right? And then we had SMT there. So basically NQ swept that high, and then ES didn't. And then what did it do? It just dumped, right? So it's kind of what I'm looking for to happen right now. So if I mark it out, it would be this to this, and then it would be the very slightest right there. So it's just hard to say because we could very easily, come back up because my next draw is all the way down here. So we're just in a weird zone because from here to here, right, 53 points, and for us to go down, it's 150. So I need some structure to build before I take something like that. So that's kind of where my thinking process is at. I'd like to see us flip this gap. It's 5 minute. I'm going to mark it. Okay. The other thing too is if I mark out this level, that's equilibrium. Dude, my back. Ow! Oh, what are we doing here? So we're in the 5 minute. I'm going to drag this over so it's a little more clear. So 5 minute that got created. So we are reacting out of it decently. And do we have, oh, I know. So we have like sort of like an order block here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So like this could be a support range if you wanted. plus we have the order block, and then the 3-minute gap. So like the way I trade, I like to view things in terms of like everything. So order block right here, as you can see, the black and the white candles are stacked up against each other. We also have a 3-minute gap here, which we never candle body closed below. And we wicked into the level of price that we had a lot of wicking into. But I don't know, I wouldn't really validate that. That's a lot of noise. So we tap back into the 4-hour gap and potentially go higher. What is this high that I have marked? Is it a 1 minute? Yeah, so I'm gonna move this, right? Because if we go on the 5 minute, that's valid. But if I went on the 1 minute, valid. Still, I have my 5 minute here that we tapped into, and we might get a reaction out of it. So this is what I mean by premium and discount. So like from here to here basically is the range. Let me get my tool out. So from here to here, it's the last, that's 7 hours. Yeah, okay. So that's pretty decent. Yeah, I guess that's 7 hours. I was on the 30 minute. So this is the range, right? And basically we're reacting off that 5 minute gap, but this gap's in premium. So taking a long off a gap in premium is interesting. I'd rather take a long in discount and have my draws a lot higher. So this is not a plus. Kind of got lucky with that last trade. Right, so with what I just did, I marked out basically SMT. Right, so I've marked out SMT, and in order for us to invalidate the SMT, right, we need to get to this high. But in order, like, how do I explain this? We do have SMT right now, but we're reacting out of a 5 minute gap. Okay. And that's basically saying we want to look for longs. But the SMT I made is confirmation to go short. So it's a little weird. So as you can see, we had high or low, high, low, high, low. I don't really count this wick as like a low necessarily because it was quick reaction. So realistically, it's low, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low. You could maybe say that this is whatever, but mainly we're trending higher. And 2 minute gap, 3 minute gap. So we did flip a 3 minute gap. Problem is the highest gap on this leg is a 5 minute. But if we do flip this 5 minute, then I won't really have a good entry. So I don't think I can trade this. I might just have to wait until maybe we snag this liquidity. and then we had lower. But even then, it's just odd. Need to wait. Oh, shit. Bro, looking at myself on my phone. The delay's not that bad. I'm tripping out the stream. All right, I gotta stop. That was bad.
You're gonna like this one. Oh, PS5. Thanks. That's what you wanted. Grab that one. Grab that one. There we go. That's the one you wanted, right? The $850 one. Yeah, I don't want to play baseball anymore. I got one more thing. You're gonna like this one. Say hello to your new family member. Isn't he cute? Dad, I told you I wanted a Rolls Royce. It's a lot cheaper.
Why does nobody build heated driveways in the United States? Picture never shoveling snow again. No back pain, no ice, no rock salt eating your concrete or your car. A heated driveway works like a giant underfloor heating system for your car. Hot water tubes are buried under the surface of a thick layer of cement, and with one switch or
I found Streamer's first ever live stream. So Speed's first live stream featured him playing Fortnite with no webcam while on a Discord call with another YouTuber, while Jinxie's first ever live stream had him yelling while playing Rainbow Six Siege. Believe it or not, Queso wasn't always massive, as his first live stream featured him playing NBA 2K with some friends on Discord, while Sketch's first stream was only just a year ago with him booting up Madden 23 with some friends.
January 5th, 2026, and this marks my 1 year trading journey, and it's been a crazy journey. Just to get to the start of it, I have been day trading for about a year now, and I made about $0. That's over a year trading. I made a single penny. I have been trading. For my closest memory, when I first started day trading was around 2024. That's when I first got introduced of what day trading is and just the possibilities I can make and do with this skill set that not everyone has. It's just crazy to think like how far I've grown to this journey. And it first all started around my senior year of high school, around 2024, late 2024. I first got introduced to day trading, and I am going to show you the clip that got me locked in with day trading, man.
And I see that it's not going below, it's not going down. That's when I put on my mask. And I get ready to rob the market. You feel me? I get ready to take money out of the stock market. That's my goal every day. Take money out of this thing. Now look.
Yeah, so that clip I just saw y'all right now. I don't even know the YouTuber's name. Hopefully he doesn't get mad if I use this clip. But seeing that clip was really what got me hooked into day trading. And it started from there. So I first got introduced to day trading late 2024-ish, after my senior year of high school. I came across that YouTube video I started making so much money without any effort. Growing up, I had a bunch of jobs, a bunch of really blue collar jobs. I had my first job at the age of 12, working on cars. Um, Basically being a body shopman detailer. Basically, what my job was supposed to do is just scraping cars up, make sure they're detailed and nice for the painters to prep the cars, and just working those jobs with my dad. Installed the seed into me that I didn't want to work so hard for just only a little bit amount of money. Like I want to use my head that God has given me to make a crazy amount of money. And it's crazy because the more I got deeper into day trading, the more I grew in my spirituality with the Lord. And when I first got introduced to day trading, I'm pretty sure I'm like everyone else. I thought the money I could make, all the women and girls I could get, the lifestyle I could live. Like that's what caught my attention when I first got introduced to what day trading.
So I'm on YouTube just like fucking around, but I want you to notice that of this leg, well, hold on, I'm on the wrong chart. So of this leg, right? 1, 2, 3 candles, right? 3 bearish candles that make this leg. The highest time frame gap that we want to flip is this 5 minute. So I've put a line at the top of the gap. So if we cross through that gap, right, then we're good. But this 1 minute candle didn't really have the strength that I wanted it to. I mean, it actually did cross through it with somewhat strength, but I would have much rather seen a candle like this here, right? And we were trying to figure out if we wanted to go through it or not. But it's just hard, bro. It's just hard to gauge whether it's worth it or not. So if I want to take a long, right, maybe I get in like here, and I'm going to target that high that we had marked out earlier, right? And then I'm going to put my stop maybe at like the last gap, right? We're just going to go for a 1-to-1. But right now, it's leaving without us, so I don't know. I don't really. It's a little bit too late now, but could have put like something like that, and then put the stop at the last gap, targeting there, right? So 1.5 RR, and that would be my next trade idea. So, and we also have those available highs on ES. So this actually probably would have been a nice trade. I probably should have taken this, but like I said, it's probably too late. And it's also a macro, so I probably should have been in that. Like, bro, type shit I'm talking about, bro. Look, we're gonna take the draw, bro. Look at that. I'm so mad. I'm so mad, guys. Look, ready? And we take the draw. Oh my god. So now, oh my god. It's macro time. That's why, bro. It's macro time. Guys, there's always a new trading day. Don't fucking blow your shit up. You know what I mean? Like, when you're trading, you should be putting on what you're okay with losing, not what you're wanting to win. Whatever you're, depending on your situation, right? For me, I like to think of it as like, I'm going to lose this trade, right? How much am I going to lose, right? And if I win, that's just a bonus. So looking at the 4-hour, right? Now we don't have SMT because this is the high, right? And we took it. So no SMT. No SMT. Draws got taken. Draws got taken. Draws got taken. I wish I was in that shit, but I didn't get in. So it's whatever. It's fine. Bro, if these were all like the same level, like, bro, oh my god, it'd be wraps. Am I tripping, or are we just continuing to just go higher and higher? Oh my god. Shit. That would have been a nice trade, man. Should have been in that. Clean structure. Really clean structure. Learning lesson, I guess. So it's about to be lunch hour. All of our draws are now gone. I'm going to turn on kill zones. Yeah. All right, well, guess that's that. I'll draw out or mark out my key levels. So opportunity for shorts may arrive, but we need to wait for more confirmation. So lunch hour is about to start, and I don't know, I don't really like lunch hour just because, bro. Chief, there we go. Guys, I haven't said that word in a long time. Chief? Bro, I'm so mad about this trade. Pissed, bro, pissed. So pissed. Let's see. I want to see the macros. So yeah, that my first trade, I was basically in this, but then we didn't take out the draw, so I got out, and man, that's just crazy. Let me go settings, accumulation. Good God.
But the more I'm getting deep into the psychology of day trading, the more I'm getting deep into what day trading really is not a get rich quick scene. Like, you tell someone about day trading, about, oh yeah, you can make $1,000 in a couple seconds, in a couple minutes. Oh man, they're too focused on the lifestyle they're trying to live instead of the actual work, which is understanding who you are as a person, understanding your weaknesses and your flaws as a person. And the more I'm going deeper and deeper into day trading, the more I'm going deeper and deeper into my spirituality. And I just give all the praise and glory to God because, man, like, I really do believe that God has given me the skill set to do it, to glorify Him. And just a little, I guess, testimonial about my backstory, like going into day trading. Like, just like I said before, I got introduced to it at my senior year of high school. And man, it's got my attention from there. I started looking at the charts on trading during school. I first trying to start day trading Forex, USD, JPY, the Euro. I was trying to trade all these things, just demo trading. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man, I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't even know how to put my long or short setups. I didn't know how to put my rectangles, all these tools. I didn't know how to use the tools. I didn't know how to buy and sell on a demo account. That was my first introduction. But around that time, like I said, I was very immature. The only reason I caught my attention was the lifestyle people could live. But really, trading isn't about that. It's really mastering yourself. So the more trials that that I went through, the more that I learned about myself, and I stuck with it. So my early years of day trading, when I really took it serious, because around 2024, I wasn't really taking it serious. I was just looking on the chart every now and then. When I really got locked in was around late 2024ish, early 2025ish. That's when I got locked in. I first got introduced to SMC concepts, better known as ICT. Watched all his core mentorships, took a bunch of notes, man. I can show y'all in the next video, but I have crazy amount of journals just filled with notes of ICT, learning about fair value, gas, super liquidities, turtle soup, all the core mentorships, all the 2016 to 2017. I watched everything, bro. I'm talking about I was locked in. Just looking at the charts every single morning, looking at 9:30 open, seeing how is price gonna open, looking for super liquidity. But I didn't really have a system yet. I didn't really have my model yet. I guess my own trading strategy, I never had it. I was just going off of what people were telling me. And so the more I got introduced to day trading, I started trading prop firms around early 2025-ish. That's why I'm marking around January, since it is January 5th, around this to be my 1 year journey, because I really started day trading with them for like, not demo accounts, but with prop firms, with Top Step, all those prop firm accounts, Alpha Futures, TPT, my FF. I really started trading with those accounts around a year ago. And I was just going off what ICT was telling me, just super liquidities, fair value gas, turtle suits, trading first presented fair value gap, targeting the opening range, constant coachment. I was just going off of what people were telling me. And I had found a mentorship, shout out to Andrew.
Wait,
I was in his mentorship for a couple months.
open draw?
And like no shade to Andrew, because man, that boy be making money, but his strategy, the way he traded, never really.
God damn, brother.
But I'm so blessed to be able to be a part of his mentorship, because I was able to network with other traders, and I eventually got introduced to my homie Sean. I don't know if he still trades anymore, because it's been a minute since I talked to you, bro. But yeah, bro, he introduced me to quarterly theory around the late summer of 2025-ish, when I first got introduced to quarterly theory. And he explained to me what sequential SMT was, using true opens. I got first introduced to quarterly theory by him. Started watching Dare's mentorship videos about quarterly theory, learning what true open is, sequential SMT, intermarket sequential SMT, using quarters, using the micro cycles, the 90-minute cycles, the daily cycles, the weekly cycles, implementing that with understanding ICT concepts. Made me dangerous. And eventually, around last month, I finally passed my first prop firm account on Top Step. Then I eventually blew it, because, like, yeah, I blew it because, to be honest with you, I got greedy, trying to chase that P&L over tracing my strategy. And I guess that's what.
Oh gosh, bro. I'm telling you, bro, my neck is killing me. Ow! Oh my gosh. So if I'm sitting on this screen, I need to finish this shit. I need to finish that shit. Okay, so that's cool. I like that. That's a cool feature.
Life was in danger and became so uncomfortable he had to leave. A couple days later, Kyle started to receive other text messages from someone named Tim at the church. At first, they were innocuous Bible messages, but then he started threatening him. He sent messages talking about their power and other things. He then sent a final text message, which simply said angels. Kyle thought nothing of it until helicopters started flying around his house.
We would really need to flip a lot of structure to be bearish, bro. But it is possible to do that. It is very possible. Oh, bro, fuck that.
All day and night. At this point, he knew he was in trouble. He knew he needed to contact them, so he made an appointment to meet John for coffee. After making the appointment to see John, something very bizarre happened. Kyle started to receive spontaneous, I'm going to say it, erections. It felt like someone was manually forcing him to have these at inappropriate times. And whenever this happened, a song would start playing in his head, and it would repeat the same words over and over again, saying, he's just a plaything. We want to make him stay up all night. And according to him, they weren't kidding, because he was not able to sleep at all each and every night. Each time he would drift off, he was woken up violently by the song. So one morning after all of this, Kyle gets out of bed and he's relieved because all of a sudden the song stopped playing. He thought the torture was over. Well, until a voice entered his mind and said, you're going to be uncomfortable. All you have to do is breathe. While he sat there wondering what this meant, the voice spoke again, saying, you will be sacrificed like Jesus and get beheaded. Well, this threw Kyle into a complete panic, and he began to have a mental breakdown. A few minutes later, some man knocked on the door, and when Kyle answered, he gave him a pamphlet talking about the sacrifice of Jesus. This sent him into a complete delirium. Kyle figured he was never going to see his family again. He was going to die. And all he could think about, now they lived in Albuquerque at the time, so he decided to buy a one-way ticket there. When Kyle reached the Spokane airport, his panic began to subside. Everything was fine until he got on the plane. Kyle sat next to a huge man who kept telling him telepathically that he was going to crash the plane. And every time after he spoke, he would sniff emphatically. Kyle didn't know what to do, so he just sat there as calm as possible. Now this angered the man, and he started touching Kyle's leg. And the second he did, Kyle could feel the man inside of his mind. This caused him to panic until he was on the verge of causing a scene. But before he did anything, the man told him to calm down. He said, "You did a great job. You passed. Go enjoy your family. We have a job waiting for you when you get back." Kyle thanked him and felt slightly relieved, but he had no intention of contacting him at all. His only thought was to get as far away from him as possible. Now, after getting off the plane, Kyle headed to baggage claim, and a huge group of them surrounded him there. Kyle began watching them cautiously, and they all began to sniff at him. Kyle writes, "The sniff is something they do all the time. I think it has something to do with dominance." When Kyle finally got his bag, he left the airport as fast as he could. His parents were right outside waiting to pick him up. He was so happy to see them again. He gave them big hugs and told them how much he loved them. However, he writes this was his last happy moment in Albuquerque because these people followed him everywhere they went. And whenever he saw one, they would sniff at him just to let him know that it was them. They would also smile, laugh, and stick out their tongues. Now, as time went on, they began coaxing him to go outside alone. Kyle was scared to death that they would kill him, so he refused. Eventually, they threatened to harm his family, which caused him to give in to them. Kyle told them he would do whatever they wanted as long as they left his family alone. They responded by saying, "Go to church." He knew they meant the altar, so he agreed to go once he returned home. So when Kyle went to the altar, the people acted very strange. As Kyle walked to the sermon room, everyone stared at him and began sniffing emphatically. Needless to say, he was scared, but still took a seat. When the service began, a man came and sat down next to him. After he sat down, Kyle began smelling something. It was a smell he never smelled before, like a reptile and vinegar. After Kyle smelled this, he became very uncomfortable. He tried to remain calm and just sat there quietly until the service was over. When the service ended, they said, "You can leave now." After that whole experience, Kyle knew he wasn't dealing with government anymore. He realized that whoever he was dealing with was extraterrestrial. After this experience was over, Kyle received no further instructions from them, so he began applying for jobs again. Even though he had done exactly what he was told by them, they still followed him everywhere. As time went on, they started harassing him day and night. He began hearing voices more and more often, and he began to hallucinate things that he knew weren't real. They also started playing with him sexually. Both the males and the females would play out their fantasies in his mind. This, of course, came with more random and uncomfortable erections, as well as extreme prostate stimulation. The harassment continued for weeks and intensified as time went on. Kyle did his best to maintain his sanity and avoid them. This worked for a while, but eventually he had a huge meltdown. It was one day he was at the bakery when he was surrounded by a bunch of old men. Some of them looked at him and sniffed, so he knew it was them. They started stimulating his prostate simultaneously, and then they spoke aggressively. They said, "Humans are nothing more than the result of a successful genetic experiment. You are a threat to the way these people think, and you can no longer be free in society. Your life is over. You are nothing but a toy. Your purpose is now to suck their private parts." They continue to say other explicit things, Kyle says, that are too obscene that he doesn't even want to repeat them. But before they finished talking, he became enraged. It took every ounce of willpower he had not to kill them. So he left the store and tried to calm down, but it only got worse. The rest of the night, they continued to stimulate him. It got to the point where he was in serious pain. They finally stopped after he broke down and became completely distraught. It was to the point where he couldn't take anymore and attempted suicide. He filled a charcoal grill with lit coals, put it in his car, and rolled up the windows. He reclined his seat and went to sleep, and he should have died, but they woke him up in an extreme panic, which caused him to get out of the car. As he slowly regained consciousness, Kyle was very upset to still be alive. He had no clue where to go, so he decided to check himself to the VA. They shipped him straight to the mental ward, but nothing improved. The medication they gave him did nothing. He just sat there surrounded by a bunch of psychotic people, and it was exasperating. He knew their goal was to ruin his life by making him into a crazy person. So he became determined to not let that happen and started fighting back. So after he was let go from the VA, Kyle went back to the altar to ask them what they wanted from him. At this point, Kyle was numb and he wasn't even afraid anymore. So he goes to the altar, he asks, what do they want from him? And they respond by saying, we want you as our sex slave. Thinking they were serious, Kyle sat there waiting for them to do something. But all they said was, keep coming to church. So he did. After a few more services, he found himself talking to Tim, the pastor, face to face. The pastor told Kyle he should become a minister. They were in mid-conversation when suddenly the pastor revealed his true form. He has no clue how he did it, and it only happened for 1 to 2 seconds. But Kyle was able to draw a sketch of what he saw. His eyes really are what stood out and captured his attention. They were huge and bulging. The eyelids with the pastor, face to face. The pastor told Kyle he should become a minister. They were in mid-conversation when suddenly the pastor revealed his true form. He has no clue how he did it, and it only happened for 1 to 2 seconds. But Kyle was able to draw a sketch of what he saw. His eyes really are what stood out and captured his attention. They were huge and bulging. The eyelids were darker green and the irises were yellow and brown with slit pupils. After witnessing this, nothing else happened. Kyle continued to attend the altar for a few more services, waiting for them to do something. They did nothing except tell him tooths were darker green and the irises were yellow and brown with slit pupils. After witnessing this, nothing else happened. Kyle continued to attend the altar for a few more services, waiting for them to do something. They did nothing except tell him to submit and surrender. Kyle had no idea what they meant, so he finally left the church and never went back. After leaving the altar, they finally gave him some breathing room. They held back on their harassment, and Kyle began to recover. Kyle decided to make one final attempt at a normal life by pursuing a career as a pharmacist. He started taking classes at NIC to finish up the prereqs he needed. He also started volunteering at a local pharmacy. Unfortunately, though, they followed him to school. There were several of them in every class he took. They made it impossible for Kyle to study, and they continually harassed him, especially while taking tests. But even with everything going on, he still managed to get an A-, an A and P during the fall semester. Sadly, though, this success was short-lived. The pressure in spring semester was far too intense. Every time he went to class, they started manipulating his brain until he got into a blind rage. They would flood his body with adrenaline. The females would stimulate his penis, and the males would stimulate his prostate. Kyle wrote this was incredibly exhausting. Every moment he spent in the classroom was absolute torture. The classes were already extremely difficult without all of this added pressure. Kyle concluded that his chance for a normal life was ruined, that he was too smart for his own good, so these entities decided to remove him from society. They were worried that he might change the way other people think, which could lead to problems in the form of scientific revolutions. If we get much smarter as a species, we are going to become a threat to their existence. Kyle writes that if you were to talk to him in person, you could see that he's not crazy at all. The Martians are just so good at hiding in plain sight that no one would know they exist unless they revealed themselves. They are able to fool us so well that what he's saying sounds impossible. However, they are 100% real. Realize their technology is millions of years more advanced than ours. And think about that. Think about the advancement we've made in the last 100 years. Once you've done that, try to imagine
the fuck, man?
millions of years of technology.
What is different
like
about this
Calvin
bullshit?
writes, the president is well aware of them, which is why
Source
he wrote him
code?
a personal letter, and he hopes he does something about it. And that what Kyle did was his last resort to take action to bring this to the public's attention. And just to make things very clear, Tim and John in this story were not wild human beings. Wild humans are normal people like you and I, and Tim and John had minds who were controlled from birth by the Martians. He wants people to know that the pastor he believed he killed is not who we think. He says it's hard to imagine, I know. Nonetheless, it's all true. Why would I give up a career as a pharmacist to do this? He says that he's actually left out many details from his story, but he wanted to write down the most critical events in order to make it coherent. And he says if you want to know more, like how I discovered there are multiple species of them, feel free to write to me. And he actually is still serving out his prison sentence somewhere in Idaho, I believe. In his manifesto, he also has a Q&A. One of the questions is, how do you know about their technology? He says, I've seen them use it, and they have talked to me about it. This was how I learned about their breeding stock of remote control humans. Physically, their humans are no different than us. They just lack a mind of their own. Why would they tell you so much? They value me because I'm smart. They were also very confident they could take control of my mind. Turns out they couldn't. Anyway, in the interim, some of us developed a personal relationship. They are very arrogant, so they told me much more than they should have. This allowed me to understand some of the things they can do. What else have you seen? I've seen them make things appear out of nowhere. One time I was sitting on a couch and a dollar bill appeared on my lap. Another time while driving, they made a paper bag appear in my passenger seat. They used random, unsuspecting items so no one would think anything of it. I was alone both times this happened. I'm pretty sure they can pop in and out of this dimension based on other things I've seen. I'm also pretty sure they can overlap our reality with an alternate dimension. I say this because I have gone into stores where I know the employees, and suddenly there are all new employees who I've never seen before. Kyle has another section in the manifesto labeled Martian Brain and Behavior. He says, I've observed their behavior for almost a year now. Consequently, I've been able to make several deductions about them. The first deduction is based on their primary characteristics, which include they are hypersexual, hyper-aggressive, and they are fearful and paranoid. In the human brain, the amygdala is responsible for all these characteristics. Therefore, Martians must have an analogous structure, and it must be greatly enlarged. The males are extremely aggressive. In their society, there's only one thing, and that is power. Whoever is the smartest, biggest, and strongest wins. He also goes on to talk about the origins of humanity, some stuff about the Martian technology, and our biological species and electricity, which reads, everything in our bodies runs on electrical impulses. Our brains operate over a wide range of electrical frequencies shown here. Everything we experience in life is simply the result of electrical activity. To be more precise, everything we experience is the sequence of a series of action potentials occurring in the central nervous system. If our perception occurs due to electrical impulses, it follows that it can be manipulated with the right technology. This is why Martians are able to directly alter our perception. They have the technology. They can trick our brain into visual and auditory hallucinations, smelling, tasting, heart rate fluctuations, erections, and every other CNS event. This provides a full explanation of how they manipulated my penis as described in the story. Read about the science behind an erection here if you're not convinced yet. So as you can see, Tesla was right. Energy, frequency, and vibration allow us to control the world around us. The Martians have known this for eons, and they use it against us. As I said before, they own a massive stock of humans, which they breed and control from birth. Since they have the technology to control a central nervous system, they can operate their humans like remote-controlled toys. Unfortunately for us wild humans, they can control us too. In his manifesto, he actually has an illustration of these amphibious beings he saw. So yeah, in conclusion, I would say that Kyle is a schizophrenic, and this is an excellent case study. However, I'm not going to dismiss him completely because on a spiritual level, I do believe that there are dark entities here. Kyle seems like a very sensitive person with a high IQ, high levels of imagination, and things just got a little too real. I mean, it is suspicious that the pastor lived after he shot him 6 times. I mean, Kyle actually was trained in the Marine Corps. He knew how to use a gun. All of his shots hit. And for those of you who know guns, you know hollow point rounds expand once you shoot them, and they're made to kill. No human is able to survive that many shots. 1 of them hit him in the head. 5 of them hit him in the torso. That is not human, if this report is accurate, and it seems to be so. This pastor was then suddenly elected to a somewhat prominent position in Idaho state government. And maybe at the end of the day, perhaps this guy was protected by God and he's a really good person. I'm going to actually side with Occam's razor and say Kyle was schizophrenic, like a severe case of it. But the fact that this pastor lived through an anatomically impossible to survive shooting is something that bothers me. So I don't know what that's all about. Either way, it's an interesting story. It was sort of hard for me to get through it just because it's so...
So, whoever's watching now, probably nobody. But looking back, if you're watching this, right here, I had a trade idea, and it was this candle right here. So this candle right there broke through the 5-minute gap, right? So so we had this 5-minute gap, right? And then going on to the 1 minute, right? We had this 1 minute candle, the deciding factor if we wanted to close above and disrespect it. And I was kind of like, I don't know. Then we had this candle here, could have gotten an entry there. Now, what could have the targets been? That's where the problem for the trade comes in, because I guess you could have used this as a target, right? So if I go back to the 1, right? That was the target, and obviously that risk to reward was really bad. So, I mean, it was just in a funky spot. So maybe you could have put, I don't know. I don't think there's really anything that great here. Literally like that. And then looking at the hourly or the 4-hour. Yeah, that would have been my target. So, and anything above is extra. So if we look on the 1 hour, right, or the 4-hour, damn, bro. I'm gonna extend this to like here, and then I'm gonna go out. So there's just nothing else to target. I guess we had, is this a new week? What is this? What the fuck was that? I guess it's a high. Just a funky trade, but it ended up running without us. So that was awesome. Bro, this is frustrating. Entry there. This would have been like a trade I could just have run and just watched it, I guess. But I think we're done for the day because this macro time frame didn't really sweep anything, and we also we're not getting any change in the state of delivery, and so I think we're done. Okay. So there we go. Yeah. All right. Cool. That is the end of the first ever stream. See ya.